Welcome back. All right, air conditioner off for this one. Just finished the Florida video. I'm going to try to get this in before it starts to get really, really hot in here. So I'm going to start off with the New York Islanders looking at their current look for a simple reason. I don't have a 70s jersey, and the 80s jerseys that I have of theirs are almost identical to this. So when I've done countdowns in the past and when I've done videos on collections in the past, I've taken the ones that have very, very similar designs and just basically thrown them, in as being different. And in this case, I can't make that argument. This is their best look. Going back to this look was the smartest move they've made. They have changed their colors a bit. We'll go through that over the years, and then they end up right back where they started. Big fan of what the Islanders have going here. Even though I've talked before about how I'm not a huge fan of the Islanders logo, it is iconic. The franchise has been around for more than 50 years. And when they made that mistake, and who hasn't had a couple of drinks and decided to change their logo to a fisherman? I know I have. But the reality is that outside of that bauble where they made the mistake of going to the fisherman logo, they've really been quite good and consistent with their looks. So, that said, we can go through. This is something that they did. So this is a darker blue than what they currently have, and the four stripes. One thing with the Islanders, they really do like the four stripe look, which is of course in relation to their four Stanley Cups. So here's the dark version of that. So again, it's a darker blue, which may look very similar to the reverse retro. So just to look at them side by side, there you go. The reverse retro was not an exact replica of any jersey they'd worn, but it was really, really close to this. Again, you've got the four stripes on the shoulder, which the reverse retro did not have. That's the four Stanley Cups in a row. And you'll notice that the stick, just the white blade, although you have three stripes here, but things do change as time goes by. So, the change in look, actually, first off, let's do this one. This is a third jersey that they wore for a little while there, and, I liked it. Now, why would I like this? Because it's different, right? You've got the weird sort of dagger shaped on the sides, and it does that on the back as well. So it's almost like a star shape, but not really. So again, you got the daggers, and it goes under this. See, it's weird, right? But it's something different. They tried. Third jerseys with the Islanders have been, well, sometimes a misadventure. And that being said, we'll go into this one here and this one. So the blue one, I didn't really have a problem finding. In fact, I have two of them. I have one with Tavares on the back. That one officially is not with the others in the collection because I've learned that Islander fans don't necessarily like seeing the John Tavares jersey. But the white one was actually really hard to find. I had a hard time finding this one, and the first one I got was a fake. Be very careful on eBay. There's a Barzal one, which looks too good to be true when you look at the price, and then when you get the jersey, it's too good to be true. Yep. So I got my money back on that one. At any rate, and I will later on this summer, I'd like to do a video on the fakes that I have and what it is that tipped me off that they were fakes, and in some cases why I should have figured it out a little sooner. Because I've had people send me jerseys that have turned out to be fakes that they didn't even realize were fakes. Because some of the fakes are done pretty well, but you can still, once you figure it out, you can't unsee it. So I don't mind the four stripes, but it is one of those oddities. But when you win four straight Stanley Cups, and it is very rare for teams to win four straight Stanley Cups, I don't blame a team for kind of, celebrating a little bit of swagger in there. So I want to get into this one too. This is the stadium jersey that they had. This one's actually a Travis Hamonic. Again, I got this one through Full Moon Jerseys. It was on, I believe I got this one on auction for like $30. The auction prices on Full Moon are no longer in that range because there's more people aware of Full Moon jerseys, which I may have played a role in, and based on conversations I had with the guy who was running Full Moon jerseys at the time, Yeah, I drove them a lot of business and probably made it so I couldn't bid on jerseys anymore because the price just got out of my price range. But yeah, I don't mind this as a stadium jersey. The logo, you'll notice, looks very familiar. So what I like with the Islanders is I can kind of jump around, and I'm jumping around a lot here. But that design, to me, is a precursor to their current third jersey. If you look at that stadium jersey, and you look at the third, very very similar. And did you notice the four stripes on the stick? Yep, four straight Stanley Cups. So I will say that with the third, they got it right. So they seem to have learned from some design choices they made here that didn't really work, and they fixed it with the third. The third looks cleaner. I think it's a better jersey, and I really don't mind it. I think of the Islander looks. If the Islanders had a blue and a white in this design, I think it would be fine. But of course, if we suggested at this point that yeah maybe the Islanders do another redesign, I don't think Islander fans would be very happy about that. I genuinely don't think that'd be the case. And then this might be my least favorite of all the jerseys, which it remains that, and it's just so ugly. This is your New York Mets colors. You've got yeah the Mets colors here and the stripe. Everything about this jersey is ugly, right? Including the fact that Islanders you can make it slanders, pretty easy to slander, landers. It just I'm not a big fan, as I've said a few times over now in this series, of word marks, and this one is just it's just so ugly. And yet the first time that I wore this jersey, I was like, I kind of like it because of how ugly it is, but I can't. When I'm rating jerseys, I can't rate this ahead of anything. This is kind of the place marker at the bottom of any kind of a collection countdown that I might do. So I'll get into that in a bit. Let's do this one first. This felt like sort of a gateway towards Brooklyn. And it felt like a gateway towards Brooklyn because you got the B down here for Brooklyn. So the New York Islanders, of course, playing in Brooklyn at the time, decided to go with this as a third jersey. It wasn't very well received. And so when I got this for cheap because they weren't selling at the time. It's much harder to find Reeboks now than it was 7 or 8 years ago. That's just how the marketplace works. They stopped making the jerseys. And even the jerseys like this one that wasn't in high demand, they become a little bit tougher to find. So there's that. Okay, now let's get into the Fisherman, shall we? The Fisherman's interesting because I have three. Count them. No, four. I have four Fisherman jerseys. So we'll get into the Fisherman first. When the New York Islanders decided to do this, we all thought it was a joke. Now, the Islanders weren't that far removed from their dynasty. And so when a team that had been a dynasty as recently as 10 years prior goes to this kind of design, it turned some heads and had a lot of questions of why and can we have fish sticks? And so Ranger fans really embrace the we want fish sticks because it does look like Captain Highlander. It absolutely does. It's or the Gorton's Fisherman, right? So either way it works. Whether you're wanting fish sticks from Gorton or from Captain Highlander, right? Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. And this was a jersey that was panned pretty badly at the time. People did not like it. Now, a year later, the Islanders realized their mistake, and they went back. They backed away from that design, and they decided, okay, the design's fine. We'll just go back to our original logo. No, these were not beloved either. They're beloved now. I wouldn't be surprised to see a throwback to one of these now, but at the time, not so much. Just imagine this in orange, huh? That'd be something. Now, one thing that people do seem to like is the lighthouse on the shoulders. I've honestly seen a lot of people like that. I have the big magnet I use for the Islanders, the lighthouse, and it does seem to be one that people like. I wouldn't mind seeing a third jersey that has that lighthouse on the front. I think that could be well done. Now, I only have one Bridgeport jersey. In most of these videos, I've been doing the AHL jerseys first or close to the beginning. However, my Bridgeport Islanders, it's a fisherman. Now, what's interesting with the Bridgeport version is the striping is completely different. I like this. I think this is pretty sharp. Now, it is an AHL jersey, so the logo doesn't have the same depth that it does on the NHL jerseys. I don't mind this at all. I think this is fun. When I saw this on the AHL site, I grabbed it immediately. I was like, okay, so fisherman done. I'm getting a fisherman because again, I didn't have a Bridgeport jersey, and when I wear this, nobody would know it was a Bridgeport jersey, right? It just says Islanders. I've thought about getting the Bridgeport jersey. Honestly, I find the logo kind of boring. I feel bad that I didn't get the Sound Tigers jersey because that was a fun logo. The Bridgeport Islanders jersey is just a bee and a hockey stick to represent the eye. It's kind of boring. So we come down to the reverse retros, and first off, yep, the Fisherman. Now, the Fisherman, what I do like is that with this Fisherman, if you compare it with the old one, now they did take the lighthouse off the shoulders. It is a different shade. They did take the teal out, but I understand that. As popular as teal was in the mid to late 90s, thanks San Jose, it ends up looking like a San Jose jersey. So getting the teal out, as much as people weren't all that happy about it at the time they revealed this reverse retro, I understood and I thought this was fine. And of course, it's the same shade of blue as the first reverse retro, which has been slammed, and rightfully so, as a reverse retro. But I think as a third jersey, it's not too bad. I know when I got it, I thought, actually, that's a good jersey. I had to do a video just on this jersey when I got it initially because I realized it should have been a third jersey, not the reverse retro. This should have been the first edition of reverse retro. But either way, I think the Islanders have a varied cornucopia of basically two different designs. Basically two different designs and color changes along the way. And where does it end? It ends where it starts. So you've got a team that has essentially decided after all of that, you know what we wore first was best. The simple original look we had was best. And I can't argue with them. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.